Hello everyone, welcome to Tuesday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Now first things first, if you've not done already, make sure you hit that like button, preempt that it's going to be a good one. If you don't like it, you can always hit that dislike button at the end. Make sure you subscribe into the channel though. We are live in the Alps about 4 days from now. The Tour de France is going to be going off right outside that door there. So why don't you just get subscribed? I don't know what kind of content you're going to get, but it's going to be bloody good. Let's get on with it. We'll get into stage 16 shortly, but first let's take a look at what else is happening in the world of cycling. And we're going to start with my YouTube recommendations because there is a lot going down on YouTube today. First up, this video here from Team Ineos, the inside line.
These boys get to the bus. Thanks very much. Yeah. Okay. Go slowly now. Yep, full gas.
You can't do two things at once. You can't massage and
wait, I need to stop.
Think of a question.
You're looking forward to dinner?
Oh, day 6 and I'm already getting a bit fed up of rice. I think the main thing is everyone's just riding well together, communicating and swapping roles, and I think that's what makes our team so strong, really.
Next up, you might remember him, cycling maven, aka Mark Ferguson. He's put another vlog out. Great production value, very little cycling, but hey, that's the life of a dad now. I feel your pain, man, I feel your pain.
Sun's just come up, birds tweeting, twerping, and it's really, it's just nice in the country. It's nice to get away to the country.
And talking of cycling dads, Jasper Verkuel has been at it again. And no, I'm not talking about his second baby on the way. I'm talking about crashing twice, again, in one race.
This happened in the race yesterday. Racing a criterium, 10 minutes in the race, my front tire, the inner tube, blew up. I mounted these tires 2 days ago. I think I made a little mistake with the inner tube. I did something stupid. I switched the front wheel, back into the race. 2 laps later, big crash in front of me, and I crashed again.
Also in YouTube recommendations today, our friend of the show, Cameron Jeffers.
Where the f*** am I?
Recently uploaded his video of his experience of L'Etape du Tour, which takes in stage 20.
Moving across to the socials now, Dan Lloyd has been voicing his concern over Romain Bardet's recent fitness with this tweet. There was a tweet over the weekend, Romain Bardet to undergo medical exams after the Tour de France to find out possible reasons for his current level of fitness, which Dan Lloyd responded, "This was never offered to me." Thomas de Gent went on to say, for some riders it was just a lost cause. And then finally, Dan Lloyd replied with a screenshot of 2 in particular races where he finished higher than Thomas de Gent. And I think it was just those 2 races. Moving on, Wigo's been at it again, sat on the back of a motorbike, making a nuisance of himself in the peloton.
Coming up now, he must have just stopped for a wee or something. He's got his teammate with him. Félicitations, dear. Right, there you go. Today would have been a good day for you, wouldn't it? Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Christian. Steep climb of the day, which is the Mur de Pridouille. I can't even pronounce the bloody thing, but that's the thing we're going up. This is 9 kilometers now. This gets very, very steep. We came up here in 2012, for anyone that remembers. The gentleman that had had his first beer decided it'd be a fantastic idea to throw down tacks on the road. 61 punches that day at the top of the climb, including, of course, Cadel Evans. It took a fine Englishman to stop the race that day and let him come back. Yours truly.
And finally, do we think this was a controversial tweet from Chris Froome over the weekend? He said, chapeau to Alaphilippe.
Who's Alaphilippe?
Alaphilippe. He said, chapeau to Alaphilippe for a cracking Le Tour so far.
Do you think that's him saying, right, step aside now, son, let the big boys go? Do you think he's playing mind games with him?
I think he's just been a nice sportsman.
Do you? No, I think he's playing some sort of game like, all right, son, you've had your time in the sunshine. Hop off now. My boys are coming to take over. Maybe he's just reminding him as well. You're only in that yellow jersey because I'm not there.
Let us know what you think in the comments section down below.
Pritch, whoa, hey, stop, Pritch. Have you reminded everybody about our partner during the Tour de France, Wahoo? You haven't? Good. Okay, I'll do it. You might have noticed I'm wearing this. It's a ticker fit. Remember those days when you put your cycling shorts on, then you put your undervest on, then you zip your jersey up, you put your helmet on, you go and get on your bike, and then you go, oh man, I forgot my heart rate monitor. Well, never fear. With a ticker fit, you can put it on at any point during that preparation phase. And guess what? I'm giving you live, up-to-date information of how hard I'm working. Not very hard. Oh, it's going up. Oh, start thinking rude thoughts. But anyway, if you've thought about buying anything from Wahoo at any point, from a ticker to a cadence sensor to a bolt or even a kicker, follow the link down in the description. Tell them Pritch sent you, buy it, it'll do good things for me, and then I'll do good things for you. Back to the show. Alright, so before we take a look at stage 16, let's take a look at this news story of Rohan Dennis. Now, it all kind of just petered down a little bit after the debacle that was stage 12 and him jumping off. No real reason as to why he's jumped off. People are still speculating. But the story has kind of taken another little bloom over on Instagram today when he tweeted this.
So I wonder what other information in this article is wrong. Pondering emoji. Seems like some solid slander being thrown about by Rob Ride Media / Ride Media HQ. Hashtag who's your source. Hashtag fact checking.
That tweet was in response to a tweet that Ride Media put out, and I'm a little unsure as to whether Rohan Dennis has got a little bit of beef with this guy or he just got his wires crossed, because Rob had tweeted an article from Cycling News that goes into a lot more detail. After the team changed his plan from 2 races in the Ardennes, Dennis raced 2 days at the Tour of the Basque Country before surprising the team by not starting the 3rd stage. However, according to an email from Rohan Dennis, the team knew about it all along. So this is a screenshot that Rohan Dennis posted, and it looks like it's an email from the team management at Bahrain Merida. For Pace Vasco, I agree that it is extra load thinking short and long term. But with 4 to 5 riders out sick or injured, the team is struggling to field a full lineup for this race. So the request is that you do it. However, the goal is just the time trial on stage 1. And then you have the option to leave the race. So knowing what we know now, this is also what Cycling News wrote. The team management were left scratching their heads when the World Time Trial champion packed his bags and duly left the race. That's a little bit of BS right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clearly somebody's lying.
And I think this is it's one of those situations now where there's a lot of dots that are needing to be joined. And I think it's a much deeper story than people kind of think on the surface. So I think the way Rohan Dennis should go about this is take his time, rest up, do what he needs to do, and then just come out with a statement. Maybe even a video just explaining everything.
Alright, let's just speculate a little bit, because that's what we do here. Let's say...
We need damn views.
He knows it. Let's just say that Rohan Dennis quit stage 12 because he was unhappy with the decision that the team had took in giving him, or not giving him, what he wanted for the time trial. And he did have an argument with them, and he decided in the moment, whether it was heat of the moment or whatever it was, that he just stopped and quit. Like, is that the right thing to do? What?
I think Nathan has tweeted and made a good point. There's 2 types of athletes in cycling. One hopes to get selection for the Tour de France, the other plans to win it. If you're planning to win but know you can't, the race means absolutely nothing. Few people understand that clearly. This was in response to another tweet that said, "You quit the Tour de France when perfectly healthy, you should be ashamed of yourself."
So in response to that tweet, I've got to say I'm not in agreement with Wheaty, because we don't understand what these riders are going through. They're putting their bodies and minds through stuff that we can never comprehend. We could never even try and get through that, let alone with the pressure of doing it for a team and having that pressure of potentially winning.
Even down to, so I did the Etape du Tour this weekend with Skoda and the Wheel of Cycling. I know it's not the same, but what I'm saying is ASO were there filming a little bit of a video documentary about the event, and they were including me in the shots. And I know I was climbing up the final climb, and I was suffering, and I had the camera motorbike right next to my face recording me, and like the last thing I wanted in that moment was that camera to be there. But you just have to get used to it, and that's what these riders are doing. It's so much physical and like mental strain every single day. Like,
but a lot of people out there will argue that with, well, that's what they've put themselves forward for. That's what they want to do. But the majority of them just do. None of them do it for the fame, and none of them do it to get on TV and to earn millions of pounds. They just want to ride the bikes
because they're good at it.
The byproduct of that is the fact that you are just shoved, whether you like it or not, into the limelight. You want to race at the top level, you're going to want to race the Tour de France. But with that, you have to take everything that comes along with it. Some people can handle it because they've got outgoing personalities. Other people, a bit more introverted, just don't want to deal with that side of it. They just want to ride their bikes, and if it's down to the equipment, maybe he had a right to do that, and maybe he was, because of the situation he was in mentally, maybe that was the best way he thought about dealing with it. Maybe people shouldn't give him such a hard time.
Without knowing the facts.
Yeah.
Boom.
Enough talk about stage 12. Let's talk about stage
16.
Which was a...
Is it stage 16? Is that?
Yeah. It was a
sprint stage.
Oh, was it a sprint stage though?
There was lots of wind.
There was lots of crosswinds involved. Let's have a quick transition now, and then we'll give you all the results. Oosh. So that's it. Did you just... Stage 16 is in the books. Cameron Jeffers, as I was editing this video, you were keeping a close eye on it. How was it?
A pretty standard sprint stage. Apart from, there's a couple of highlights. A few crashes today, actually, Chris.
Yeah.
One of them being Geraint Thomas. Don't know what happened. Maybe he lost
I know
what happened.
Well, basically, if you watch the replay, he lost the front end going into the right-hander. So it's a typical motorcycle crash. You're pushing the front end a bit too hard, and he just tucks it. But instead of it dropping and then dropping to the right, he dropped it, and then it gripped again, which flicked him over the high side. Could have broke a collarbone. He was lucky to get away with that one.
But I saw later on in the stage, he was chatting to Wout Poels, and he kind of did the signal that he like hit something.
Oh, so maybe, but you could definitely
because
see that.
It wasn't a sharp corner. It wasn't
Corner. No, and he was a good foot away from the curb as well.
Unless there's a little bit of oil on the floor or something, maybe. But then maybe more riders would have come down. Who knows? Mysterious.
Luckily, he got away with it, but somebody who didn't get away with the crash was
Jakob Fuglsang from Astana.
He's out.
Yeah, we don't really know as of yet what has happened to him. I mean, his stage only finished 5 minutes ago, so there's not been any kind of post-race reports. But I don't know.
Let's just speculate. I think he crashed because he didn't want to do a dope test at the end of the.
Oh.
I'm joking.
But he was stood up,
yeah,
talking to his teammates, and he just took his helmet off and
I think one of his teammates took his helmet off
and walked towards the team car. Yeah. So maybe he had concussion, maybe he hit his head. Yeah, so far we don't know.
It looked like when you were watching the replay that it was not moving this part of his body. So normally when it's a collarbone, they'll do that, won't they?
Holding it.
They'll hold the arm, but here he just kind of just stood there like that. So
as this video is posted, there's probably been a report, and this is just a completely irrelevant conversation.
Comment down below. Let us know what happened to him. I want to know. Hey, this was a funny part of the Tour de France. Alright, let's talk about the finale and the sprint finish. It did come down to a sprint finish. There were talks of potential crosswinds affecting the race again. There was crosswinds, but they didn't really affect it. A lot of people went to the front and started pressing on, but it was either due to the wind wasn't really in the right direction to make it happen. Everyone was really alert and no one was getting left behind, or people just didn't have the legs to pull it. I don't know.
I think it was a case of checkmate. All the GC teams knew what was coming. They knew what happened on the previous stage, and they were all just there waiting for it to happen. Final breakaway was caught around 2.4 kilometers to go before the sprint was set up, and it was a pretty close one.
Who was your money on?
My money was on Groenewegen.
Yeah, me too.
I wanted
fantasy team.
I wanted Sagan to win. But I thought Groenewegen was. But I mean, Caleb Ewan was the overall victor of the stage, but he came from absolutely nowhere into the cross headwind.
It's rare that anyone comes off. It was like it came off of what, fifth wheel?
Yeah.
Like the amount of times you see, but again, maybe the riders are tired. Normally you see all the lead outs go, and then you're left with the sprinter at the front, and they normally, if they don't get it, it's normally the guy kind of behind them who rushes them a little bit and has a little bit more energy. But he came from. Yeah, 4 wheels back and just went straight into. He took the brunt of the wind and made them all look a bit stupid, didn't he?
I mean, he just proved he was the strongest sprinter on that day.
Well, that's it. Like, how much fatigue are these sprinters feeling? Because they're having to climb those mountains, and they're having to climb those mountains just as hard as the GC contenders. So, like, how tired are they feeling, do you think?
I'd imagine they're pretty tired. But I'm also surprised someone like Caleb Ewan is now winning in the third week. This is the furthest he's ever got in a Grand Tour. You got guys like Elia Viviani, Peter Sagan, who are, you know, they've done plenty of Grand Tours in the legs, and someone like Caleb Ewan just comes from almost nowhere in the third week and second win of his career in the Tour de France.
And that's the last chance that the sprinters are going to get now before they get to compete for another win. The next time is going to be on the Champs-Élysées. Who do you think is going to win that now, based on all that? Are you going for an outside bet, or are you going for keeping it safe?
Oh, I'm going to go for Sagan, just to throw it out there.
He's looked good, but he's looked consistent. He's not looked fast.
He's kind of doing the usual Peter Sagan thing, isn't he? He's there or thereabouts in every sprint stage and every intermediate sprint stage just to seal that green jersey. But, I mean, he wants to go home with the stage win, surely.
Yeah. And
wait, he's already got one.
He wants to go home with his second stage win.
And what about you, Pritch? Who's your pick?
I'm going for Christoph.
So just two outside picks then.
Yeah, Christoph's won on the Champs-Élysées before, isn't it, Anti? But I can't see it. I can't see it. No, I'm joking. I don't think anyone's going to beat Ewan.
Yeah, let's just see how.
Without a lead out as well.
Yeah, but let's just see how his legs fare through these last
he's got
few
a
days.
Still, Anti.
And the one outside, Charlie.
And I struggled into out there.
Yeah, and you're a sprinter.
And I'm a sprinter. Yeah.
So
I could have easily put out another 2,000 watts at top though.
Do you reckon you could beat him?
In a sprint?
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a quick look at stage 17. Cam, take it away. Tell us all about stage 17.
The 200-kilometre stage starts in Port de Gard.
No, Pont de Gard.
Is it a mountain stage? I mean, it's...
No, Cameron. It's 200 kilometres. There's a fourth cat climb halfway through it, followed by a third cat climb. It's not going to be a day for GC. Everybody's going to want to conserve as much energy for this one. Unless there's crosswinds involved, I can't see the GC doing anything other than letting a breakaway go, letting it establish.
Who's your pick?
Niels Pollitt.
Thomas de Gent from the breakaway.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you go and subscribe to Cameron Jefferson's channel. You've probably already done it. Most of you have. In fact, all of you have. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. More importantly, don't care about him. Until tomorrow, thanks for watching.
See ya.